Peace, love, and light. What's happening, niggas? Nagas. Yeah. If you know, you know. Hey, man. Um, my content is for educational purposes only. Can't stress enough for you guys to do your own research. I praise my content. If you find any errors, let me know via the comments. I will correct any errors that I've overlooked in my documentation. None of us have lived long enough to know all that have transpired in the past, and none of us can live long enough to learn all there is to learn. With that being said, welcome to No Wooden Nickels, where the air get real thick real quick. You understand me? It's always real over here. We ain't, beating around no bushes, you know. Not only are we not beating around no bushes, we ain't got no emotional attachments to the truth being put out there. It is what it is. But anyway, man, I don't know, man. It's a few different things, man, that I decided to make this video on, man. First thing I want to address is, for all you bad motherfuckers. Yeah, I know it's a bunch of bad motherfuckers running around out here. You understand? And the thing I just want to put out there to y'all, the bad motherfuckers, is you gotta understand, man. Universal law is what governs us, man. Not man's law. Not man's law. The way society is set up and how it runs. None of that. The thing that governs us is universal law, man. Divine order. So, with that being said, man, anybody that wants to know more about what I'm speaking about, do a search on the universal laws. Not the 12 that's going to come up. Search the 50 basic universal laws. And that'll give you a bird's eye view of what it is that I'm talking about. Because everything is based off of and governed by energy. Energy don't die; it only transforms. That goes as far to say that death is an illusion. Anything that dies, it's only so something else can begin. That's the first thing, that I wanted to touch on. Next thing, man, is let me see if I can gather my thoughts. First of all, let me, throw a shout out to all of my new subscribers. Appreciate the love, I'm in transition right now, so I got a lot going on the personal front. However, I'm going to keep, the content coming. But, once I get everything situated and organized, it's going to be some heavy shit coming through, the way my videos are going to start coming is going to be based off of research. I'm going to research any topic that I want to talk about, so that way I have a orchestrated, organized construct of via a layout of information to dispense. Right now I'm basically going off of the top of the head, going off of things that I already have knowledge of. Thing I most want to put out to y'all right now and convey to y'all is basically, man, just be humble, man. That's the only thing I can say, man. You gotta learn humbleness, because pride is akin to the ego, the lower self. So if you stuck on that, and you living in a prideful state, that just conveys that your lower self has dominance over your being. Because we souls having a human experience, not humans with a soul. And you also need to understand that prior to incarnating into the body that you presently embody, you entered into soul contracts and agreed to do certain things. And with the way society's set up now and all the changes that's happening in our existence, there's a lot of different shit happening. Time seems to have sped up. Ignorance has taken the forefront to knowledge, and knowledge has taken the backseat to ignorance. Seems like everybody's preoccupied with outdoing the next man or woman. If somebody's doing something and seeing some success in anything, so it's never a cease or a lack of individuals that's lined up to throw darts at somebody's success. What's it all about? Live and let live. If you're not, again, like I said in previous videos, if you're not all right with something in your life, anything, any aspect or element of your life that you're not happy with, you embody the ability to change. Excuse me. You embody the ability to change it. It's on you whether you do that or not. You can't. You can do it, but pointing the finger ain't going to change a motherfucking thing. And it ain't going to take the responsibility from you, as it relates to, who's responsible for the circumstances in your life. Because nobody can control you but you, unless you allow it. So if you didn't allow somebody else or other people or circumstances or society to dictate how you operate, then you can't blame nobody for that, Jack. You can only blame you. So, you got to be a man or you got to be a woman. And, contrary to the popular beliefs, being a woman, and I'm not a woman, but at the end of the day, I've been around for a minute. And today's woman is nothing like nor reflective of the women of the past. The women of the past, you see what I'm saying? They understood, the importance of speaking life into their men, to their man. Let me say that. All this, having 6 and 7 niggas, or whatever the case, Man, I ain't judging nobody. I'm just putting it out there. It is what it is. The facts, the truth just gonna be there. Whether you like it or not, when I identify with the truth or not, the truth just gonna be there. So if something I'm saying is triggering you, then that should tell you something. Anyway, as far as the men, because ain't no discrimination, you gotta be a man. You gotta be responsible for the actions that you've taken and the decisions that you've made that bring about the existence that, in which you live. You laid down with that woman, regardless of who she is or what circumstances she exists within. You laid down with her. So be a man and take responsibility for what the outcome was of your decision and the actions that you took. I think, man, a lot of shit, man, nowadays, man, is people more preoccupied with, how they're viewed. Well, I gotta keep this here on the low, because, if motherfuckers knew that I did X, Y, and Z, or I'm really X, Y, and Z, as opposed to, the facade that I put on for everybody, then that's going to change the view. They're going to look at me a certain way as opposed to the way I want to be viewed. Well, don't do some shit then. You gotta think about all that shit prior to you taking action. It's just a lot of shit, man. The main thing though is, taking accountability for, your actions, taking accountability for your existence. A lot of people don't understand spirituality because they've bought hook, line, and sinker, the views and the perception and the social acceptance of the way society is today. Society ain't you. You are an individual. And as the old saying goes, to thyself be true. So it ain't about, you worrying about what people gonna feel, how they, what they gonna say, how they gonna feel, what they gonna do. Be true to yourself. Live your life. Stay true to the Constitution that you walk by. Because if you can't be true with your motherfucking self, then ain't nobody else got a shot at you being true to them. You got to embody it before you can extend it to anybody external to you. That's a fact, Jack. So, and don't get it fucked up. Don't get it fucked up. Everything I say to y'all is therapeutic for me. Because I'm by no means am I exempt from, the shit that I say, or the examples that I give as it relates to the content that I put out. That shit go for me, just as quick as it go for anybody else. Difference is, I've taken accountability for my shit. And don't run from the responsibilities of it. So, when it comes to, just, being responsible for your life, man, you got to be able to look at yourself just as critical as you look at anybody else. And it ain't sweet when it comes to, doing your shadow work. You know, revisiting the corners of of your mind in your darkness, the lower aspects of who you are. I just had a conversation with with an elder, and I thank the ancestors and the divine, source for that conversation, man, because it brought a lot of shit to the light for me. You can't love yourself but hate certain aspects of yourself. You got to embrace it all. The good, the bad, the ugly, all that. Because your farts stink just like the next motherfucker's farts stink. Hey, man. I ain't worrying about being politically correct and fitting into somebody's status quo and all that bullshit. I'm going to keep it all way funky. So, I ain't better than nobody. Like I've said before, man, I'm just a little different. When I came out the pussy, just like, y'all came out the pussy, it wasn't no other carbon copies. Nobody else is going to be able to do what you do the way you do. And that's your power. Embrace it. And don't be scared to tap into your individuality. Like I said in another video before, everybody ain't going, support you or want to be around you or love you or none of that. You got to be the one. Jay-Z, shout out to him. He said it in one of the videos that I've seen of him. I believe it was, one of his interviews, man. You got to believe in your greatness before anybody else do. Because if you don't believe in your greatness, nobody else is going to believe in your greatness. It come a time in every man's life, every man and woman's life, where you have to put away the childish shit and grow the fuck up. And grow the fuck up, man. Life ain't sweet. Especially if if you striving toward, what it is that you deem or feel as though your purpose in life is. It definitely ain't sweet. But just, because things get hard or things get difficult, and shit ain't popping off the way you wanted to pop off, you gonna capitulate, i.e., you gonna fold on yourself. You got enough motherfuckers that's doing that for you already. You don't need to fold on yourself. Don't never give up on you. You got enough motherfuckers, that's around and around you that's going to give up on you. Whether it be they taking you for granted, thinking you ain't going nowhere, or you going to continue to put up with their bullshit. Whatever the case, you got to be the one that stand up for you. With no reservations, no apologies. So, to cut this video a little short, because again, this is just, off the top of the head, basically, just putting an authentic message out there. You got to learn to be the most important motherfucker in your life. And one of the shorts that I just put out, because because it got cut off at like I think 30 something seconds. But at the end of the day, man, if you waiting on another motherfucker outside yourself, you might turn blue in the face waiting. Don't never put your shit in another motherfucker's hands. Do what you need to do for you, because only you live within your skin every 24/7. Image time, later for that. Ego time, later for that. Because at the end of the day, man, when you really do the research and get into the meat and potatoes of this shit, man, that shit that we sacrificing ourselves and our lives and other people for, that shit ain't got no worth. They print it every motherfucking day. How can it have worth if it ain't got no substance behind it? But in actuality, it does have substance. Your time and your energy. Think about that. Black man's labor, white man's wealth. Look at the way society is changing, man. You can't even get a motherfucking passport without jumping through a whole bunch of motherfucking hoops. But this is a free society. That's just like the last video I did. Who voted for the motherfuckers to do the chemtrails? You know what I mean? Come on, man. And y'all screaming that bullshit. We free. Land of the free. Home of the... Man, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Seriously, man. You know what I mean? How you gonna scream that shit when all your people catching hell? Yeah, there's some few that done found a way to, to make it out of poverty or whatever the case, or just because they're not in poverty, and they're above the bottom levels, they feel like they made it, I ain't knocking nobody's success or their progress. But at the end of the day, man, this shit is deeper than that. Shit is deeper than that. Look at how much money these motherfuckers spend to keep you distracted. They spend billions just to keep you distracted from yourself. Why? Because they know who the fuck you are. Problem is, you don't know who the fuck you are. As a result, and consequently, you're supporting their agenda in not knowing who the fuck you are. You got to register for this. You got to register for that. They control how society go. Man, I never signed a motherfucking contract, to agree to go along with the shit that they trying to, force me into. First of all, I never signed a